We're growing our hair out. I can already see the very beginning of this video. Welcome to the Trade 5 Customs TV air quotes show. All right, let's get into this, right? We already said that once, but here we have Wendell's OBS Chevy. This is day 3 on this truck. We finished assembling the GSI chassis, installed the bare brakes, ordered up a drive shaft and installed that, installed the Curry third member and axles, obviously before the brakes. Installed the Budnick wheels that we already had tires mounted on. We lined up the cab, got the cab situated, and we're in the middle of body dropping the bed. So the bed's already been dropped. We're building splash shields front and rear. We'll chop off the rear at the tailgate, make the tailgate fit, then we'll finish welding everything up, and then we'll cut the center section out so it lifts up. Dakota digital actuators, LS fab hinges. That, my friends, will be in the next video. So we can show you what it looks like now, but hopefully by the next video, the bed's on and it's going up and down. So anyway, speaking of up and down, I'm getting up. Come on, Brian, let's go. We got stuff to talk about and things. Wendell brought us the engine. We put all the Holley parts on it. This is Sniper EFI low-rise intake. The Holley valve covers that conceal the coils. Pulley setup was already in it. Already had the radiator. And we fit all this stuff on. Columns in it. This truck's gonna have a lot of polished stuff. That's like the valve covers and the pulley setup. And then we got a polished steering column in there, which they don't make a direct fit steering column for OBS's, so you can ask in the comments, but the answer will be it's not a direct fit column. So what we do is we cut the mount off of the factory column where it passes through the firewall, and then we use the Flaming River, I think it's like a G-body steering column clamp that secures it to the underdash clamp from the factory. And you magically turn around. I'll tell you that that's the Endo VT 5-gallon tank. And on the other side of that is the Vire compressors and the AccuAir ECU. Goes right there. Okay, so that's gonna go there. These are the crazy bed mounts. Like I said, air motive intake pump. And we'll run lines, hide it, blah, blah, blah. That's that, drive shaft's in it. Bed, like I said, you'll see more of that later, so we don't really need to focus on that much. Really cool project that we have here in the shop is John Vaughn's truck. And this is a 63 GMC. I kind of got called out in the last couple videos for not knowing exactly what year everything was. But if you notice, I knew this was Wendell's truck, and I know that's John Vaughn's truck, so I know the names of the customers. I think it's more important. But this is a 63 Chevrolet. So not a 64, not a 65 or 66, not a GMC, 63 Chevy. We've talked a little bit about this. We've done a little bit of work since the last time you saw it. The bed sides that he brought us were kind of garbage. So instead of using those, we got new ones. We've welded up the seam. We welded up where the chains will be, because this one has a Marquet tailgate with a little hidden tailgate handle on the inside. Put our own rear cross member in, filled the back in, waiting on some tubs from Heart Fab for the rear because I wanted to match the front. Normally we use the factory ones and widen them and chop them and section them, but I wanted these to match the front, so we ordered those. Still going back and forth with John on the paint color, but I think this one's gonna go black, which will be really cool because we haven't done a black one in a while. Other stuff that we've got done to this is we're working on mounting the bumper. He had a brand new chrome bumper, but he wants the bumper nice and smooth, and it's gonna be painted anyway. Actually, probably be powder coated satin black. So we had to modify these and drill some holes in the frame so we get the outside mounts. And then now that we know it's mounted and straight, Fabio over there is welding the studs on there so we can have a smooth bumper when we're done. Let's go. So here's that bumper we were talking about. Yes, it's face down and it's chrome, but it doesn't matter because it's not staying chrome, so it can get scratched. So that's John Vaughn's 63 that I'm really super excited about doing. That truck's gonna be cool, especially black, gloss black with black trim. If anybody sees John Vaughn, tell him that'll be cool. Pio still hasn't touched his worthless golf cart. We're still planning on doing a video on this, but he still hasn't touched it because he's a lazy SOB. James Harden's truck's here. You probably didn't see that in the last video, but this is James's Squarebody Blazer, and he has about 2,500 miles on it, and we are on transmission number technically 3, but really only 2 because the first one was built incorrectly. Those of you who know anything about transmission, this was built as a 17-pin, although the programming and the wiring and everything's for a 15-pin, so the 17-pin we knew going into it wasn't going to work. Couldn't get a hold of the guy that built that transmission. He skipped town or something. It sucks because I used him for a long time and he was really good at what he did. But we used somebody else, and that somebody else built us a transmission that lasted 1,500 miles and then kind of went to crap. He rebuilt it for us, warrantied it, cool, whatever. But only 1,000 miles later, it's bad again. So now we took it out, and Jason over at Choice Transmission actually came by and picked it up, and that'll be a new transmission builder for us. He's built a couple for us already, but hopefully we won't have any more problems with James's transmission, or as James like to say, James's tranny. 56 Ford. Last video, it was probably up there. This video, it's down there. We have new tires on it. It's running, it's driving, and today is Thursday. Monday it goes to interior. The Bronco that's at interior goes back to tuning, and that one should be out of here soon, hopefully, because it's been here for too long. We have some more parts over here, but one of the parts we have sitting here that we'll put out there for the YouTube world. This is a gas tank. I won't say who built it. Normally a pretty good company, but didn't want to warranty this gas tank for us. It's cracked around the welds. Pile will fix it up, and we'll get our customer's truck back on the road. Kind of sucks they didn't want to warranty it for us, but you live and learn. Marlon's truck, last time you saw this, it didn't have a bed on it. We basically just assembled the bed. We mounted the bed fenders up as high as we could, but we can't mount the bed until we have the 2212s here, because the bed actually has to get lifted up to clear the wheels also. So not only do we lift the fenders on the bed, but then we also lift the bed on the truck. Unfortunately, Rob Lane's truck doesn't look much different other than we cut some more of the rust out of the firewall. Don't really want to talk about how little progress we've made on that, but we have the star of the show around here, right behind you. And that would be Brian's Squarebody Dually, crew cab, diesel, compound turbo, way too much work. But anyway, bed's done. We left the chassis exposed here because it has the gooseneck. And if I magically say open sesame, but this is on Dakota Digital Actuators, which is nice because you just press the button. If you watch Shannon's wrap-up video, you'll see how these work. Press the button, goes up. Underneath here, we did some cool stuff. This is all actually enclosed. So this is like, think of it like a trunk. You can either open this to get to it, or you can open the tailgate to get to it. This is all trunk space. So you can throw your beers, or adult beverages, your chairs. All right, so the other thing we did on this truck, just because it's kind of like a work truck, I mean, he's gonna use this thing for actually hauling. So we wanted to give a place for tools or straps, that type of thing. We want it to look kind of like a toolbox. So this will all be painted and it'll be nice, but we have like toolbox latches even. So you just pull either side, they're connected together. Both gas fillers are in here. So we have one that fills the tank on this side, and then we have a filler that goes all the way over, fills the tank on the other side. We have the vents for the gas tank. We built this cool little thing so we can run number 8 vents over to it. So that way if you wanted to pull up to like a semi-truck stop where the pumps pump a lot faster, there should be plenty of vent. And then on that side of the bed, we have jumper ports for the batteries, and then we'll also have like an air chuck over there. So you'll be able to air up, air down, fix a flat, whatever. But that's it. It shuts super nice. So moving forward from the 5-week bed that we're working on, We also have the engine and transmission in here, and I think we've talked about this in the previous video. This is an A1000 transmission. So this is a massive transmission. So this is probably the biggest transmission tunnel you've ever seen. The transmission is so big that the drive shaft is actually above the floor. So the transmission is huge all the way back to about here. We'll transition this down and then we'll have to cut for the drive shaft. But I wanted to get this part in place before we cut any more of the cab out, just in case we lost too much structural rigidity. So this will get welded in, this will get welded in, and then we'll cut this out and we'll build a simple drive shaft tunnel. And we can't even order the drive shaft yet because I can't measure it because it's literally inside the truck. And then up front, we have Hydro Boost, which we thought would be a good idea because that's what you would normally see in you know, big trucks with big engines and boosted, and a lot of diesels run those. Paired that with a Bear Brakes Remaster master cylinder. This is compound turbo. I think you guys have seen it before, but in case you haven't, normal size turbo down here feeds big, huge, like semi-truck turbo up here. We have the Heart Fab tubs in here as well. We have the radiator mocked up, which we had to get really creative because I can fit this through there, but that's about it. All American Billet just gave us this pulley setup. We worked with them to get an 8-rib setup on here and mount the AC compressor up high, whereas if it was factory, it'd be way down low, so be in the way of the frame rail. This moves it up here, does a nice aftermarket AC, big current alternator, and everything's 8-rib, so even with like 1,100 foot-pounds of torque, this thing should stay in place. And other than that, we have intercooler, and this is like a factory intercooler off of some kind of Dodge truck, but it's about the biggest size we could fit. And as you can see, like we had to cut away a lot of the support for the factory core support to fit this thing, and then there's some big old holes on either side, and we'll put V-bands on the intercooler, push them through, and then that should be easy to go out of here. We'll kind of snake underneath, and I'm making a billet plate for up there, and then this one will snake through, come in there, and then we'll just have a filter on here. We'll go over more of that as it gets more completed. But yeah, I think that's it. Derek's truck, David's truck, Joe's truck, and Shane's truck are all over at Frank's. Derek's truck, David's truck's in first round of prime. Joe's truck, he painted the roof yesterday. Painted the roof, so we're excited to see paint on that one really soon. And that's it. That's a wrap. That's it. That's it. That's a wrap. Let's hand it over to Pio, get his take on it, and I'll let him close you out. Thanks for watching.
All right, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like this video, comment, you know, down below. We got merch on the website, Trey5customs.com. You know, like you can buy some hats to cover this stuff up right here. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Look, he dropped the mic. Who was doing that for a while where they're like, oh, it's our TV show. This isn't a TV show, folks. This is just us talking to you about what we're doing around here. And if you enjoy it and watch it, then do the YouTube stuff, subscribe, and like and comment. And the more you do that, and the more people that do that, the more money we make. Oh shit, was that too honest? We really only make like $10 a month.